Hi everybody, Bob Long, LADC. Today we're going to be looking at some of the damage that alcohol can do to your system. And up first would be the liver. The liver is responsible for metabolizing the lion's share of the alcohol. It can lead to cirrhosis of the liver, fibrosis. It can also lead to liver cancer, and it can lead to other things. Let's see here. Oh yeah, fatty liver disease. I forgot about that one. Don't know how I forgot about that one. And then of course we're going to move on to the brain, which is my favorite topic. So alcohol releases or impacts GABA. It's one of those neurotransmitters that the brain uses to, it's sort of like the braking system, okay? And it actually slows down the braking system. So that's where we get impaired speech, we stumble around a little bit, we lose our coordination, we lose our balance, things like that. It can obviously impact our judgment. It messes with the frontal lobe. Our speech may become slurred. It impacts our memory. There's just so many pathways that it acts upon. Let's see. Obviously, slower reflexes, difficulty making decisions, and sometimes blackouts. Alcohol also shrinks the brain. This has been, John Hopkins did a study back in 2007 that showed that people who drank 1 to 7 glasses of alcohol a day, I think it was wine, had smaller brains than those people who didn't. And if you drank more than that, you had even smaller brains. So remember, brain shrinkage is one of those things that dictates a lot of bad things happening, like dementia and Alzheimer's. So again, if you love your brain, you probably don't want to do too much alcohol, or actually there's no safe amount of alcohol. You might want to quit altogether. If you're a heavy drinker and you have what's called peripheral neuropathy, which is like numbness or tingling in your sides of your legs or your feet, that can be caused by alcohol as well. Heart and circulatory system, a very small amount of alcohol is a vasodilator. It means that it relaxes the blood vessels. Blood flows a little bit easier through there, okay? However, in larger amounts, anything more than a drink, it becomes a vasoconstrictor, and that's where we start seeing a vasoconstrictor. So all the little blood vessels in your head, they begin to shrink. And then you have to still get the oxygenated blood pumping through to all your organs in your body, because hey, your body needs oxygen and that's how it gets it. So your heart's going to have to work harder, which means your blood pressure goes up, means your pulse rate goes up. You are more susceptible to heart attacks, you're more susceptible to strokes, especially with the shrinkage of your veins and arteries. Just imagine you have a blood clot that would normally pass through a regular size vein or artery, but when you are drinking and those things are constricting and getting smaller, that blood clot, you're at higher risk of having a blood clot. And if you have a blood clot in the brain, that's called a stroke, okay? So strokes are what we call bad. Alcohol also impacts the pancreas. I'm sorry, I just remembered an episode of Rick and Morty season 1. Never mind, I won't even mention Pirates of the Pancreas anymore. But anyway, it makes it hard to produce those enzymes that and hormones that you need, and without those, you could have pancreatitis, which can be acute or it can be chronic, and it increases the risk of pancreatic cancer and of course diabetes. Next up is the digestive system. Alcohol can irritate the lining of the stomach and intestines, leading to conditions like gastritis, ulcers, bleeding ulcers, impaired nutrient absorption, potentially causing malnutrition. If I've seen a lot of people my age or older who used to be very athletic, and because of their heavy drinking, they became weaker and weaker, and they didn't understand why. Well, when you may be getting enough protein, but because of your heavy drinking, it's prohibiting protein synthesis, and your muscles are not able to recover or repair themselves. So yeah, if you love your body or your mind or your heart or your stomach, or if you have any of these problems, quit the alcohol, okay? Anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth. Most people don't even think about the lungs and alcohol, but misuse of alcohol can lead to a whole bunch of lung infections, pneumonia, tuberculosis, acute respiratory distress syndrome, that's ARDS, ARDS. And so, I mean, alcohol impacts every organ in your body. Now, by now you've probably noticed that I have toilet paper on my shirt, okay? Okay, so understand this. Where I work, this is a company shirt, and I am not to promote my company, right? Even though it's free advertisement. I guess I don't know what they're afraid of, but whatever. So in order to do this video, I taped toilet paper over the name of where I work. What a grand idea that was. Hey, your kidneys they're not escaping anything either, okay? So it can impact and really damage your kidneys. Just something to think about. Heavy drinking can impact a whole bunch of stuff. It can mess up your hormone levels. It can contribute to thyroid disease, abnormal cholesterol levels, reproduction dysfunction. I love saying that, reproduction dysfunction. There ought to be a song out there, reproduction dysfunction. Never mind. Stress intolerance, and of course, like I said earlier, diabetes. And we've already talked about how it can weaken us. The weakening or the wasting away of muscles is called myopathy, I think. Don't get me wrong on that, okay? And can disrupt the process of muscle growth and repair. This can lead to cramping and the wasting away of the muscle, which is, what's that word I'm trying to look for? Atrophy.